It's a busy morning in the city. People rush past each other, their faces buried in their phones, trying to make it through their day. Amid the rush, there's something that catches the eye. A man walking down the street, casually dressed, not looking for attention. It's Keanu Reeves. To many, Keanu is not just another celebrity. He's known for something much more rare in the world of fame: his kindness. Whether it's his humble lifestyle or his quiet generosity, Keanu has gained a reputation for being down to earth, a stark contrast to the typical Hollywood image. As Keanu walks along the sidewalk, his eyes scan the surroundings, not lost in thought, but aware of the world around him. His attention falls on a homeless man sitting by a coffee shop. He's in his late 50s, with unkempt hair and worn clothes. His face tells a story of struggle. Tired eyes, a slight slump in his posture, and a sense of resignation that comes from living without a place to call home. It's a scene many of us walk past every day without a second thought. But Keanu doesn't just walk by. He pauses. There's something about this moment, something that draws him in, making him stop when most would keep moving. He looks at the man, then takes a step toward him, something simple yet full of meaning. The homeless man doesn't expect anyone to stop. He's used to the constant stream of people walking by, their eyes fixed on the ground or ahead, as if pretending he doesn't exist. But today, something is different. He feels a gentle weight on his chest when he sees the man walking toward him, and for a brief second, he wonders if he's imagining it. Keanu doesn't walk by like everyone else. He stops, takes a moment, and looks the homeless man directly in the eyes. A simple act, yet powerful. It's not just the look, it's the way Keanu's gaze holds no judgment. There's no pity in his eyes, no rush to walk away, just a soft, steady gaze that seems to say, "I see you." The homeless man blinks in surprise. Is this really happening? A celebrity, a man he's seen on screens and in movies, is standing right in front of him, looking at him as though he matters. Keanu breaks the silence with a warm smile. "Hey there," Keanu says in a calm, friendly voice. "Would you like me to buy you a coffee?" The homeless man stares at him, unsure if he heard that right. He looks around, as if trying to find someone who might be playing a prank on him. But no, this is real. Keanu Reeves, the actor, is offering to buy him a cup of coffee like it's the most natural thing in the world. His mind races, unsure of what to say or do next. Sure, I'd like that," the man replies, his voice barely a whisper, still in disbelief. Keanu smiles again, a genuine, kind smile. "All right, let's go inside." And with that, Keanu leads him into the coffee shop. The homeless man follows, still processing what's happening. It's a simple act, buying a coffee. But in that moment, it means more than words can describe. It's not just the coffee, it's the humanity, the recognition, and the kindness that the man never expected. As they step into the coffee shop, the homeless man hesitates at the door, unsure where to stand. It's a small place, but it feels like a different world from the street outside. The warmth of the shop hits him immediately, a contrast to the cold air he's been used to. The sound of the coffee machines, the scent of fresh beans brewing, it all feels so normal, so foreign. Keanu doesn't rush him. He stands there quietly, waiting, as the man slowly adjusts to being in this space. The man feels out of place, standing among the well-dressed customers, but Keanu doesn't make him feel that way. He's just there, a steady presence beside him. Keanu looks around for a moment, then turns to the homeless man. "What do you want?" "It's on me." The homeless man feels his throat tighten. He hasn't ordered a coffee like this in a long time. He wonders if he should just get something small. He doesn't want to be greedy. But Keanu's smile encourages him to choose what he truly wants. "I'll just have a regular coffee," the man says, still unsure, his voice low. Keanu nods. "All right, regular it is." As they stand in line, Keanu starts chatting with him casually, making him feel more at ease. "How's your day been so far?" he asks, genuinely interested, his tone light and kind. The homeless man feels a little hesitant at first, not used to people taking an interest in him, but Keanu's warmth pulls him in. "Well, it's been cold," the man says, his voice shaky. "But I've been all right, just trying to get by." Keanu listens intently, nodding as the man speaks, showing empathy without saying too much. There's no rush, no hurry, just two people having a conversation. It feels natural, comfortable even. The man begins to relax, realizing that Keanu isn't just offering him coffee, He's offering his time, his attention, his presence. As they step up to the counter to place their order, Keanu looks over at the man again, smiling. 2 coffees, please. 1 regular, 1 for me. The barista prepares their drinks, and for a few moments, there's only the sound of the cups being filled, the steam from the espresso machine filling the air. In that quiet space, something shifts. The homeless man starts to feel something he hasn't in a long time. A sense of worth. As they sit down at a small table by the window, Keanu takes a sip of his coffee, his eyes glancing out at the busy street. The homeless man slowly unwraps his cup, his hands a little shaky. It's not just the coffee, it's the recognition, the feeling of being seen, something he's not used to. Keanu watches him for a moment, then begins to speak softly. You know, I've been through some tough times too, he says, his voice gentle, almost like he's sharing a secret. I've lost a lot, things I thought I could never come back from. The man looks up, surprised by the sudden shift in the conversation. Keanu doesn't often talk about his past publicly, and the homeless man had no idea what his life was like beyond the movies. But there's something in the way Keanu says it, something raw and vulnerable. It makes the man listen more closely. Keanu continues, his eyes meeting the homeless man's. I lost my sister to cancer a few years ago. It was hard. I watched someone I loved suffer, and there was nothing I could do about it. I've had my share of grief, and I've had moments where I thought I wouldn't make it through. The homeless man's eyes widen, and for a moment they both sit there in silence. Keanu's words are heavy, but they don't feel like pity. They feel like an invitation. A way to show that no matter how different their lives are, they've both experienced loss, pain, and struggle. I know what it feels like to lose things that matter. And I know what it's like to feel alone, Keanu continues, his tone soft but firm. That's why, when I see someone else going through hard times, I don't just walk away. I try to do something, anything that might help. The homeless man listens, feeling something stir inside him. Keanu's kindness, his willingness to share his own pain, makes the man feel understood, in a way he hasn't felt in years. He never imagined someone like Keanu Reeves, someone who's had everything the world could offer, would understand what it's like to feel forgotten. Keanu goes on, I don't need to make a big scene. I don't want to be praised or seen as a hero, but even small moments of kindness can make a difference. Sometimes all a person needs is for someone to stop, to say, hey, I see you. I'm here. That's what matters. The homeless man is quiet for a moment, the weight of Keanu's words sinking in. He never thought he'd hear something like this from a celebrity. It's not what he expected, but it's exactly what he needed. A reminder that kindness doesn't come from fame or wealth, it comes from the heart. Keanu smiles, his eyes twinkling with understanding. I don't know what your story is, but I do know that you matter. You're not invisible, and sometimes just being seen makes all the difference. The man feels something shift inside him. It's like a tiny spark of hope, something he thought had long gone out. Keanu's words, simple as they are a lifeline. They're the kind of words that make him believe he's worth something, that he's not lost beyond repair. And in that moment, the coffee doesn't just taste like coffee. It tastes like a fresh start, a chance to believe in something again. The man stirs his coffee slowly, trying to absorb what Keanu just said. His mind is racing, but he can't seem to put the thoughts into words. He's been through so much, things he's never shared with anyone. But something about Keanu's openness makes him feel like maybe, just maybe, it's safe to talk. After a long pause, he looks up at Keanu, his eyes a little misty. I never thought I'd talk to anyone like this, especially not a guy like you, he says, his voice rough. But, I guess, you're right, people, they just don't see me anymore. They don't even look my way. Keanu listens quietly, nodding, his expression full of understanding. He's been here before. He knows what it's like to feel invisible. The man takes a deep breath and starts to tell his story. I used to have a family, a wife, 2 kids. We had a home, a life, he begins. His voice cracks a little, but he keeps going. But one thing after another happened. Lost my job, couldn't make the bills. I fought to keep it all together, but one day, it all fell apart. My wife couldn't handle it. She took the kids and left. That was the hardest part. I haven't seen them since. There's a long silence as the homeless man looks down at his cup. He's not sure why he's sharing this with Keanu, but it feels like he needs to, like something is pushing him to open up. I thought I could make it through. But after that, everything changed. I couldn't get a stable job. I ended up on the streets, and it just kept getting worse. I've been living like this for years now. Keanu doesn't interrupt. He doesn't try to offer advice or rush the man through his pain. He just sits there, offering a safe space for him to speak. The homeless man's voice grows quieter as he continues. I try not to think about my kids too much. It hurts too much. But sometimes at night, I wonder where they are, if they're okay. I wonder if they remember me at all. Keanu's heart tightens as he listens, but he doesn't show it. He just looks at the man with compassion, letting him talk. It's a story full of loss, regret, and longing, but there's something else too, resilience. This man has fought to survive, to keep going, even after everything was taken from him. When the man finishes, Keanu places a hand on the table, giving him a reassuring look. There's no judgment, no pity, just quiet support. And for the first time in a long time, the homeless man feels like someone truly understands. The coffee shop is quiet now, except for the soft clinking of cups and the hum of the espresso machines in the background. Keanu and the homeless man sit in the corner, the weight of the conversation lingering between them. The man looks down at his coffee, his fingers wrapped around the cup, feeling its warmth seep into his hands. It's just a regular cup of coffee, but right now it feels like so much more. Keanu watches him, his face soft, filled with a quiet understanding. You know, Keanu says after a moment, his voice gentle, sometimes all a person needs is a little kindness, a little reminder that they're not alone. You've been through so much, and it's okay to feel the way you do. But I want you to know something. You're still here. You're still fighting. The homeless man swallows hard, trying to hold back the lump in his throat. He's not used to hearing words like that, not from anyone. It's always been about survival, about getting through another day. But Keanu's words are different. They're not empty. They're not just sympathy. They feel real. And they hit him harder than he expected. The homeless man blinks rapidly, trying to fight back tears. It's been so long since anyone has said anything like that to him. He's been invisible for so long, just another person others walk past, another face they ignore. But now, in this moment, he feels seen. For the first time in years, he feels like someone cares. Keanu smiles softly, his eyes filled with kindness. I don't know where you'll go from here, but I hope you remember this moment, that you matter, that even on the hardest days, there's someone out here who sees you. The man takes a shaky breath and looks up at Keanu, his eyes glossy. For the first time in a long time, he doesn't feel invisible. He feels something he hasn't felt in years, hope. They sit there for a while, finishing their coffee in quiet companionship. The homeless man keeps glancing at Keanu, still trying to wrap his head around what just happened. It's a strange feeling, this warmth and kindness that's been offered without expectation. There's no rush, no hurry to get up and leave. The world outside continues to move on, but in this moment, it feels like time has slowed. The homeless man finally finishes his coffee, setting the empty cup down on the table. He looks at Keanu, his eyes filled with gratitude, but also something else. Something deeper. Something he can't quite explain. It's as if for the first time in years he's seen himself in a new light. Keanu finishes his coffee too. He stands up slowly, pushing his chair back. The man stands as well, unsure of what to do next. He doesn't want the moment to end, but he knows it has to. Thank you, the homeless man says quietly, his voice thick with emotion. I don't know what to say. Keanu smiles, giving him a small nod. No need to thank me. Just take care of yourself, all right? The homeless man nods, blinking away the tears that are threatening to fall. Keanu gives him one last look, a soft, reassuring smile that speaks volumes. Without another word, Keanu turns and walks toward the door, leaving the coffee shop as quietly as he entered. The homeless man watches him go, feeling something shift inside him. As Keanu disappears into the crowd outside, the man takes a deep breath. For the first time in a long time, he doesn't feel alone. For just a moment, the world feels a little bit brighter. He sits back down, staring at his empty cup, holding on to the warmth of the coffee, and the warmth of a stranger's kindness. As the homeless man sits in the coffee shop, his mind is buzzing. Keanu's words echo in his head. over and over again. You matter. You're not invisible. It's the kind of thing he's needed to hear for so long, but never thought he would. He looks around the coffee shop, and for the first time, he doesn't feel like he's just passing through. He feels like he belongs. When Keanu walked away, he didn't just leave behind a cup of coffee. He left something much more valuable, a moment of connection. A reminder that kindness exists in the world, even in the places we least expect it. For someone who's been living on the streets for so long, that reminder is more powerful than any material possession. The homeless man stays seated for a while, lost in thought. He looks out the window, watching people go by. For a brief moment, he wonders if Keanu's kindness was just a one-time thing, something to feel good about for a while. But deep down, he knows better. It wasn't just about the coffee. It was about the recognition, the humanity. It was a reminder that he's not just a face to ignore, but a person with a story, with feelings, with dreams. He doesn't know what the future holds, he doesn't know if things will get better, but for the first time in years, he feels like he can try. He feels like he's worth trying for. As the man finishes his coffee and stands to leave, he takes a deep breath. There's a spark inside him now, a tiny glimmer of hope. He walks out of the coffee shop, not with the weight of the world on his shoulders, but with the strength to keep moving forward, one step at a time. And in the back of his mind, he knows that even on the toughest days, the kindness of a stranger can change everything.